Here we are at Dyson Fluffy Head. This comes with your V10, V11 and V11 OutSize. It also comes with your V8, V7 and V6, but they look slightly different. The one you're looking at in particular is for the V10, V11. So first of all, we're going to open it up. And to open up, you need a flathead screwdriver, coin, or a guitar pick, or prying tool. You need to turn this here anti-clockwise, 1/4 of a circle. After you turn 1/4 of a circle, we can lift it up like this. There's actually an arrow there, the black arrow, telling you which side you have to pull it up and push it back down. Once you lift it up, you just take it out. Depending on your thing, it will come out with the roller or without it. I'm just demonstrating you how the locking mechanism works. So now we need to pull out the roller. In the video, it's to your right. So one of the roller side has a smaller hole and one has a bigger hole. You can't go wrong because the smaller one won't fit and the big one will go all the way. Next, we need to remove this roller at the back. On the V6 one, it doesn't have this. V6 and V7, V8 one doesn't have this, depending on which model you have. So you guys can ignore this if you don't have it. What we need to do is we're going to remove the top here. So to remove this top here, you need to get something underneath it to pry it up. So I'm just using a flathead screwdriver to pry it up. Normally, if you use this, hair will get caught into this. This is why we need to remove it, to remove the hair. So once you get a prying tool to lift it up, it comes out in, and there's two pieces. The plastic piece and the pin, which is the metal piece, we call. So it comes out like this. After you finish cleaning it, just put the pin back in the hole. And now you can push it in. Please note when you push it in, it does not go in all the way. And it's quite hard or soft, depending on how old or new your vacuum cleaner is, to push it back in. So I'm just going to use my my screwdriver to push it back in. Please be careful, because if you slip, you're probably going to stab yourself. Please note it doesn't go in all the way, and the plastic at the end does get loose, because it's meant to be loose. So next, we need to get our screwdriver. We need our T8 screwdriver. Just showing you it's a T8. Hope the video can focus. If not, you can just trust me, it's a T8. What we have to do is we have to remove that screw and these 4 screws here, and there's an inner side here too. Please remember to put your screws aside so you remember where each screw goes. Now that we removed the 4 screws and plus the 1 screw, we need to remove a screw here. This allows us to remove the cover. After we remove this screw, we need our Phillips head screwdriver now to remove a screw here. That hole there is where we took the smaller roller out of. So we need to remove the screw, and it uses a Phillips head screw. Just to show you here, this only goes in one way, as there's like a protrusion here, or a notch. So when you put it back in, you have to align the notch with the notch here. I don't know if you can see it, but if you have your vacuum cleaner in front of you, you'll be able to see it. So the best idea is you either can align it. If you can't see it, I recommend you to rotate it until it sits properly. So we just put these pieces together as these go one, and it's easier for you guys to remember. Next, just get your screwdriver and poke where the screw was. This helps you push out the cover. As you can see, there's a gap here. Once you push it down, it makes it easier for you to access. See, once you push it out, you just take it out and it comes out. Please note there's a clip here, so therefore that side needs to slide down in first, and there's the clip holes there. So this goes in this direction. Once the clip goes in, you then have to align the hole with the other hole. So next, there's one screw here. We need to remove the screw here to remove the plastic, I don't know what you want to call it. It's the cleaner. So your fluffy head rubs against this, and this is what collects the dirt and dust off your fluffy head. So to remove it, we need to lift up one side first. Once the side's up, you can tilt it up. So to remove this, it goes in diagonally, and it comes out diagonally, and you put it in diagonally. So there's two screws here. So this comes in. We can take this apart. So just demonstrating how you put it back in. So to put it back in, you need to put it diagonally as well. So here are the two screws we have to remove. You need your Torque T8 screwdriver to remove it. After you remove the two screws, we can now disassemble this part. Please remember to put your screws separately so you know which screw belongs to which product, or where each screw should go. So now that we have removed the screws, it just comes out that simple. So there's a notch here. So therefore, when you put it back in, you need to align it with this notch. The best way is to hook it in and then fold it in together, or rotate it. I don't know how you want to say it. We call it fold. Let's call it fold. So be careful. So if you don't fold it in and just push it in, ram it in, it can break that clip. But other than that, yes, if you pull from the bottom and lift it up, you rotate it like a quarter of a circle, it should just come out pretty easily. I'm just going to put my screws back, as I've demonstrated how to remove it. After screwing back in, we're going to do a cut, as I forgot to show you how to remove the wheels. There's two wheels in this, and many people have asked me how to remove the wheels, as they get hair caught in it, which is where the cut is going to be now. Before, I forgot to show you how to remove the wheels. So this is how you remove the wheels. So you need to remove the wheels from the inside, as in the inner side of it. So you need a screwdriver or a poking stick or whatever you want. There's a gap here, and if you have your own one, you'll be able to see it. So there's a gap here. what you need to do is you need to put your screwdriver here and get a hammer, or get, if you're strong, depending how old or new your thing is, you can get a hammer to knock it out. So when it comes out diagonally, as you can see here. You can try forcing it, might not work, or you might just have to get your screwdriver and hit harder. Once it's out enough that you can pry it up diagonally, you pry it up diagonally and you get your tweezers to pull out the stick in the middle. Now the stick is out, you can take the wheel out. So the stick just goes in the wheel, like this. So to put this back, you have to put it diagonally, the way you put it in, took it out. So there's a hole here. So what you have to do, there's a hole here, and the other side, it can go freely in, you can say. So what you have to do is, you have to put it in diagonally. You take the rod, or the stick, you push it in all the way. After it's in enough, you now need to get something to poke it down, so it can go straight again. This might be difficult or hard. And there you go. I pushed it in and now it works normally. We're now going to remove the motor. To remove the motor, first, you're going to have to pry out these two cables. One is the positive, one's the negative, so it's black and white. But it doesn't matter because you can't go wrong. And each one only can plug into the other, so therefore you don't have to worry about it. What you're going to need is, I'm going to get a small flathead screwdriver to poke the tab out, so I can disconnect the cables. So I'm just poking it here, and once you poke it, it allows you to remove the cables, as this is a locking mechanism so the cables don't fall out. Just to show you here, there's this tab here. So now you can remove it by your hand, but if this is the first time you remove it, you might need tweezers, as it gives you more grip. Next, we need a T15 torque screwdriver to remove the motor, as the motor is really big. The motor screw, this is just one special screw just for the motor. It's a T15. If you don't have one, you can use a T10. T10 sort of fits. So, but if you can, try to use your T15. If your screwdriver set box doesn't have a T15, use a T10. With that, we insert the screw here. You might have to hold down your motor so your motor does not spin, so you can remove the screw. Once you remove the screw, remember to guide the cables out so it goes out of the hole. This is your motor. You can actually take the back part off if you want to. And just to demonstrate you, there's a hole here. Your wire should go through this hole here, where I'm sticking my screwdriver through. So you can remove this piece if you want. It's unnecessary, but same with this piece. There's a place where your wire should go through. It's the bigger one. And this piece here only goes in one way. So if you put it in incorrectly, it doesn't actually fit or hold your motor properly, as it has cutouts that needs to align with your motor. If you can see here, there's a small gap. You know it's in properly. if you haven't aligned it correctly, you can't push it in correctly. So those wires need to go through this hole. So we're just going to put it back now. Once you put it in, remember to put your special screwdriver back in. There's only one of this, so you can't go wrong. When you tighten it, remember you might need to hold your motor in place so it doesn't spin, or you know that it's in tight enough when your motor stands up straight again. Now we need to plug the wires back in. The wires are color coded, so you shouldn't be able to go wrong. Once your wires are in properly, we need to route them in their placeholders again, and there's actually a cutout for the wires to fit in properly. You just have to follow the original layout. So I'm using my screwdriver to push my wires back into the layout, the cutouts which hold it in place. You can't see it now, but if you have it in front of me, you'll be able to see it, and after I'm done, I'll show you what it looks like. So I just put my cables back into the layout correctly, and now that's done, we now put all our pieces back in. So we need to put this piece back in, which is our head cleaner, I guess, scraper, whatever you want to call. Remember, it goes in diagonally, and once it's in, you know it's in because if the screw holes all align, then it's in. We need to put one screw on the left, one screw on the right, and 4 screws on top. Please note the left and right screws are the same, and the 4 on top are longer. Hopefully you left your screws in a particular way that you remember where each screw goes. If you don't, please get a paper and write it down. Now that we are done, we need to put our last screw in on the side. Next, we need to put the side cover back on. Remember, there's a clip here and there's a hole on the side, so it has to go in diagonally. After it's gone diagonally, you need to put this hole into this hole. Once that's done, we need to put our wheel back in, and for the wheel, we need to use our Phillips head screwdriver again. Remember, for this piece, there's actually a notch out, so you remember to align it correctly. If you screw it in and you don't see it going all the way, it's probably you haven't aligned your notch correctly. We need to put back this screw. This screw here holds the outside covering in place. we need to put our fluffy head back in. Remember, the fluffy head can't go in the wrong way because it will stop automatically. Remember to put your fluffy head all the way. As you can see, there's a gap. If there's no gap, then it's probably correct. Same with this, the smaller roller. The smaller roller only goes in one way. Make sure it goes in properly as well. And once it goes in, remember to roll it to see if it rolls. If it doesn't roll, it means you're probably screwed up. So now you put back this cover. That's about it. And now we need to get our flathead, coin, or guitar pick, or whatever you want to rotate, to close it back in place correctly. We do a quarter of a circle clockwise, and that's it. Remember to plug it into your vacuum cleaner, run it to see if it works.